What's up, YouTube? Capital G here. Gonna do another episode of It's Broken. The card we're gonna talk about today is Black Whirlwind, and I know a lot of people are instantly gonna look at the title of this video and they're gonna think to themselves, "Capital G, is you trolling?" I'm not gonna answer that. That's a clown question, bro. Okay, guys. Before we embrace debate, let me make two things perfectly clear for my argument's sake. Number one, it's not the year 2009 anymore. Number two, this card is not Gateway of the Six. The reason I feel like it's necessary for me to come out and say that Black Whirlwind is not Gateway of the Six is because people, for some reason, unbeknown to me, they always seem to want to link and compare and contrast Black Whirlwind and Gateway together like they're the same card, when it's pretty evident they're not, because Black Whirlwind has so many different restrictions that Gateway of the Six just doesn't have. In fact, I don't even think they're in the same universe in terms of brokenness. For one, and this is probably the biggest condition, Black Whirlwind only works on normal summons. You only get one of those per turn unless you use some type of effect, but Gateway of the Six works on specials. So that means that at no time will you ever be able to exceed or make a synchro for Black Wings and get any type of advantage. With Gateway of the Six, you can just, special summon from the hand, gain more advantage. You can synchro summon, gain more advantage. You can exceed summon, gain more advantage. Number two, Gateway of the Six works when your opponent summons samurais. Black Whirlwind never does that. It will never do that. For instance, if your opponent Monster Reborns your legendary Six Samurai Shien, if you have Gateway of the Six, you can get two counters. That doesn't work with Black Whirlwind. If you're playing a mirror match or something, you can't gain advantage off of your opponent's actions. Number three, and this is another condition where the cards are just completely in different realms. Black Whirlwind cannot make advantage off of other cards. Like, you can't use other resources to power this card. With Gateway of the Six, that's not how the card works. I mean, you can use United counters, you can use counters from other cards like Dojo, so on and so forth, to power Gateway of the Six. So these cards are not even in completely like contrast. They're not. You can't even compare the two. You know what I mean? Gateway of the Six can get things from the graveyard. Gateway of the Six can make monsters gain attack. Black Whirlwind can't do any of this. It has one ability, that's the search, and that's it. One of the reasons why I think that Black Whirlwind isn't broken is because of all the limitations and restrictions that they put on the card. I actually think that Kunabi designed the card very well. One of the biggest limitations of Black Whirlwind is the fact that you can only work down the ladder. You can't work up. What I mean is, you can't climb up the ladder. You can't summon Gale and search Sirocco. You can't summon Bayou and search Blizzard. Like, you always have to be working down. And while it does set up future plays, it also puts restrictions on what you can do at any given time. If you summon Bora, I mean, there's only a limited amount of Black Wings that you can get at the time. You may need Shura or you may need Sirocco, but those options aren't available. The second restriction on Black Whirlwind, and the much bigger one, is the fact that when you summon a monster, Black Whirlwind essentially says, to activate me, you must make sure that that Blackwing monster stays face up throughout the entire resolution of my effect. The reasoning is because that monster needs to stay face up so that Black Whirlwind can actually verify what the attack is, so when the ability goes to activate, it knows basically what you can have access to, what you can search out via the effect. This is the whole reason why I don't think the card is broken, because at any given time, your opponent can interrupt that summon. Your opponent can disrupt that play in any way, and you won't get the search. If your opponent has obviously a card that would just straight up negate the summon via like Solemn Judgment, Solemn Warning, you won't be able to search with any cards. But if your opponent has a simple Book of Moon, Torrential Tribute, Bottomless Trap Hole, Regeki Break, anything like that, I mean, you don't get anything. Most of the cards that have counters, or most of the searching cards in the game, like Karakuri Anatomy, Gateway of the Six, they don't care if the monster stays face up on the field. As long as it hits the field successfully, you get the search. Black Whirlwind doesn't do that. Black Whirlwind makes you go the extra mile. It says that your monster has to hit the field. You have to have a free release summon and your opponent can't do anything. Then I'll let you search. That's not broken, guys. People always seem to hone in on the fact that Black Whirlwind can potentially cause a whole lot of advantage relatively quickly for one of the players. And that may seem like a good counter argument. Here's my beef with that argument. The reasoning is this. I will never fault a player for not having simple back row removal. If you don't have back row removal, it's not your fault that you didn't have an MST while your opponent went Gateway of the Six, dirt, 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 dirt. Or when your opponent has Gates of the Dark World and after 4 turns they're +4 on you. I mean, there are some decks like Heroes and like TGs that just don't run a lot of back rows, and that's how the decks are constructed, and I can't fault you for that. But here's the difference with Black Whirlwind. not only did you allow Black Whirlwind to stay face up for 4 turns on the field, but you also allowed them to use their normal summon, unopposed, uninterrupted, 4 times. You didn't do anything that would disrupt the resolution of Black Whirlwind. I mean, that's not Whirlwind's fault. That's your fault. You let them summon 4 freaking times. Chances are you'd be at a deficit even if you didn't have Whirlwind on the field opposing you. So for all those reasons, I don't think that Black Whirlwind is a broken card. In fact, let's just be completely honest about it. The only time that Black Whirlwind is problematic is when you have multiples, which is why if the card was semi-limited, you wouldn't have any problems with that. I mean, the chances of getting multiple Black Whirlwinds on the field would be slim to nil. So leave your comments below. Tell me what you guys think. Click an ad as always, and hopefully we can embrace debate some more and come up with some more cards to talk about if they're broken or not. Thanks for watching.